On today's podcast, we're going to be covering what I call 3-point safety, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. I have what's probably a unique situation for most couples. I have podcasts and have marketing contracts revolving around safety, and one of the products my wife's company sells is safety tape. So a lot of our work conversations are safety oriented. A couple days ago, she was racking her brain in an attempt to come up with a solution for one of her customers. She said that they have an area that needs special attention paid towards it. It's an area where tow and lift trucks have to go slightly uphill into a loading area. They've tried lights, floor markings, signs, but still can't get the fork and lift truck drivers to pay attention. She asked me if there was anything out there that would remedy this. Now, when approached with a challenge, it's very important to keep your mind open to more possibilities than what's being presented. What I mean by this is the way she framed this challenge to me. It initially had me attempting to think of other products that they hadn't tried. And although I'm sure that there are many more like this, the only thing that I could really think of was laser lights from above that are projected. And other than that, they'd tried most and if not all of the available options. But then I shifted my thinking outside of what was being presented, and the answer was right there. Before continuing on with our podcast, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and/or products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. What makes Mighty Line the superior choice in keeping your facility safe and productive? Mighty Line tape is the strongest floor tape on the market and has a beveled edge that increases durability for industrial brush scrubbers, forklifts, and heavy industrial wheel traffic. Mighty Line's peel and stick backing allows easy installation and removal. You can apply and reapply it during installation and it leaves no sticky residue should you need to remove it. This allows the ability to change workflow areas quickly and easily and not have the downtime that's associated with painting or using floor markings that leave behind a mess when you remove them. Mighty Line tape is 7 times thicker than the average safety floor tape. Mighty Line signs and markings come in a variety of shapes, colors, and sizes, and if we don't have what you're looking for in stock, there's a good chance we can customize it and allow you to find exactly what you're looking for. Mighty Line offers a limited 3-year warranty on their floor signs and markings. And last but certainly not least, Mighty Line's products are patented and proudly made in the USA. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Again, go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. Now, back to the podcast. In the first part of this podcast, I mentioned keeping your mind open to more possibilities than what's being presented. And again, when I did this, my answer was clear. Now, when I say clear, I don't necessarily mean popular. The reason I titled this podcast 3-Point Safety is this. Safety is really as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, what are the 3 points of 3-point safety? 1, you have tools, equipment, products, and services that you use. 2, you're provided training on how to properly use them. And 3, you follow the training. and it repeats over and over again. So let me reintroduce you to the challenge originally mentioned at the start of this podcast. The customer has an area where tow and lift trucks have to go slightly uphill into a loading area. They've tried lights, floor markings, and signs, but still can't get the fork and truck lift drivers to pay attention. And after thinking over the situation, this simply isn't a product challenge, but more of a driver challenge. And if you've ever worked in a location that smells really bad, you'll find that you become immune to it really fast. The same thing occurs with sound. I had a railroad track next to my house growing up, but almost never noticed the trains. The same thing occurs with lights, floor markings, and signs. After a while, they just blend into the environment and become very unaware of them. Now, if you have a stop sign by your house and you consistently rolled through it and didn't stop most of the time because you felt like it was okay to proceed, you would probably keep doing it until something went wrong. Now, that something could be a close call, an accident, maybe even a traffic violation, and the workplace is no different. Floor marking salespeople are constantly being told that paint and tape won't hold up in a certain area, yet the tow truck and lift truck drivers are pushing and dragging pallets right in front of the salesperson's eyes. Not to mention the condition of the pallets, the condition of the truck wheels, and what those wheels have driven through. These salespeople think, and maybe even tippy-toe around mentioning it, that if the drivers would slightly raise their forks, assure their tires were in good shape, free of damage and debris, and make sure that the pallets were in good shape as well, that the floor markings would stand up as advertised. But you have to be aware of the safety, have training on the safety, and implement the safety. For management, the third point means enforcement and maybe even gamification. What I mean by that is if you follow the rules, you're rewarded. And if you don't, you're penalized. Now, the latter is not fun, but it's a lot better than dealing with an incident if you don't. Remember, safety floor markings, lights, and signs are in place for a reason. Recognize them, assure you know why they're in place, and pay attention to what they instruct you to do. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.